It's happening, how it's happening, and where it's happening. So good to have you on yet another time. How are you? How have you been? Hope you're okay. And if you're not, don't worry, it's one step at a time. Just take it slow, right? One step at a time. Gradually, you get to your destination. My name is Fina Kennedy. Welcome to the program. It's brought to you from NTA Port Harcourt. You can watch us on Star Times Channel 103. You can follow us on our social handle, NTAPH Channel 10. Today, I'm very excited. I'm very excited, one, because of what we want to talk about. You know how you want to talk about some trending issues that are of concern, not just to you, to the family, to the society, and to Nigeria at large. We're going to be trashing all of that today. But before I kick the ball, before I talk so much about it, I have Francis, the ladies' man. Francis is saying, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm perfect and very strong. Thank you, Fina, for introducing me that way. Of course, the ladies call me Tay Frank. And for our viewers out there, thank God Almighty for making it possible for us to be here this morning on Garden City Rendezvous. And what we do here is production. Production is the breaking down of production processes into distinct parts so that each part is manned by some persons. And that's exactly what we do here at NTA. It's for this reason that the Zonal Director of NTA Port Harcourt Network Center, in the person of Mr. Paul Ate, had a refresher course on current or say modern trends. And the week in review was quite interesting, exciting, as I am well fortified, so to say, with what it was.
I can see you're well fortified for me. In fact, you've already started saying everything. Anyway, speaking about being well fortified, this week we're going to be talking about, like I said, concerning issues. First of all, we'll talk about mother tongue. Today we celebrate the International Day for Mother Tongue. For those of us that are, to understand it better, local language.
Yeah.
If you have observed the issue about local language, it's enormous. Now you go to speak, you meet your kids and you speak language, for them, and maybe your dialect for them, and they are giving you Queen's English. What did you say, Mom? We don't understand, Mom. What's that? That's colloquial and all that. Well, that's an issue.
Yeah, it's really a problem because when it comes to our mother tongue, I don't know who to blame or who is actually guilty. Yeah. It's a problem for real because it cuts across. I'm also guilty because my kids have this problem of when I try to interact with them in my own dialect, they just say, Daddy, what did you say? Then I'll be shocked, like, I've been trying.
Yeah.
So one is a matter of interest, two, it goes on us as parents also to try, especially the mothers.
Oh, you're blaming the mothers.
I'm not saying that, but I say
I think it's a collective thing. Sometimes when I try to speak for my kids and they will like, Mommy, that time, what did you told me before, but remind me. So I'll say it's like this, say it like this. Sometimes they forget. I think it's about the consistency. But anyway, that is why we're here. We have somebody that is, in the capacity portfolio to tell us a lot about all the issues and how to solve this concern. And then we are also going to be talking about another person issue, certificate versus skill. That one is a big talk on its own. Well, let's just go and continue with the program, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, we have this musical. We'll take the musical just to calm us a little bit, enjoy the moment. After the musical, we dive into the real discussion. We'll be right back.
Like ABC 1, 2, 3, so easy. So we chill and no one sweat out. Thinking say when we're ready things will walk out. But as time goes by, I realize so many things they pass me by. And a voice inside keeps telling me if you know one day behind, make it hustle. Life in every rehearsal, about you make it hustle. Now your body go tell you. It's not a bed of roses, so make you hustle. If you know hustle, that's why I wake from my slumber. Carry my gun, I must go. Looking for pastures greener. See my mates, some don't make up. Some still in the making, and I'm just that way. Got nothing me, you're searching. Must be dreaming, adrenaline pumping. Have mercy, have mercy. But that small voice still the answer, make I hustle. Life in no rehearsal, hustle. Now your body can tell you, no hustle. Life no be hustle. This life is not the bed of roses, so make you hustle. Now your body can tell you, if you know hustle. Life no be beans, no mean say you no go make ends meet, my brother. It's a man's world, no mean say you go down yourself, my sister. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Check yourself and your friends, are you even? I feel that small voice never tell you, say make you hustle. Life in a very hustle, above you make you hustle. Now your body can tell you, now your body can tell you, if you don't hustle, life will be hustle. This life is not a bed of roses, so make you hustle. Now your body can tell you, no hustle. Life will be hustle. Life in a very hustle, above you make you hustle. Now your body can tell you.
Oh, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, is Garden City Rendezvous, and you know what we do. We talk about trending issues that are of concern to us, to family, to society, and to Nigeria at large. I earlier told you we'll be talking about the mother tongue, the issues surrounding it. Why are we not? What are the mistakes that we're doing? Where are we not getting it right, and how to make it right? In the studio with me, I have Her Majesty, Dr. Mrs. Juliet Eliku. She's here to tell us more about it. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
welcome to the studio.
You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate. Before I talk about.
You just tell us about what
yeah.
we are.
Yeah, I am, like she has said, Dr. Juliet Eliku. First, before Her Majesty, I am the head of the Department of Foreign Languages and International Studies, Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, and I am equally the founder of ILCI, Imroha Language and Cultural Initiative, where we teach the Imroha, the Kwere language. So I can authoritatively say that I am a teacher of languages, and I'm passionate about preserving, first rehabilitating, and then preserving our cultural, our culture. Of course, language is part of it.
Okay, let's start up now. Mother tongue. You are obviously you are the capacity you have in this. Your knowledge in it is massive. What is the issue? The importance of mother tongue?
Mother tongue cannot, the importance of mother tongue cannot be overemphasized. First, it helps us preserve our cultural identity. And like I tell people, if you don't know your culture, you have lost your identity. Secondly, it helps for the transmission of indigenous knowledge, because our culture, our language is embedded with our cultural values, like the idioms, the proverbs, which convey messages and some tell about our history. And then it also encourages stronger family and community bond. You see, when you see somebody who speaks your language, naturally,
you cling to that person.
You cling to. In fact, that reminds me, that is one of the things that challenged me in reading French language. I walked into a company, and we are all vendors, and then we are waiting for the man in charge, and then he steps in, and the one who even came later, for the fact that that one greeted him in French, he beckoned to that one. He attended to him first. So you see, so that bond that language brings. And then Researchers too have also said that language encourages cognitive and academic excellence, as well as promotes psychological confidence in children. A child who can communicate in his mother tongue, you see that child being confident in himself or herself when they are with their peers. Then another thing it does too, it helps to resist the erasure of our history. Writers like, that is why writers like Ngugi wa Thiong'o of blessed memory insist that language is central to decolonization. In fact, he is against writing all these novels in English language. He argues that the true African literature is that which is written in our indigenous languages. So also moral, of course, moral and ethical formation. Language, our mother tongue, yes, it builds the children's moral and ethical formation, which I believe is one of the reasons why today we have a lot of unethical issues with children, because they have lost touch with the language. So our language teaches moral values. In fact, it teaches moral values. You know, when I was growing up, my grandmother, for her to communicate to you, she uses parable.
Wow.
In fact, if I go out, how I will know that my mother is angry with me and may beat me? As I am coming, my great-grandmother will just give a parable, and I will know that, wow, there is
he that beats the drum with that story.
Exactly. So you see, and we grew up with all those values, and that is what the Gen Z generation today, they do not have.
Okay.
Thank you very much, man, for updating us on that. On this, let me know, is should I say our mother tongue a barrier to learning English language? Because I observe that most parents, take priority in teaching their kids English language ahead of their mother tongue.
Well, most parents, that is in this part of the world. Yeah, because I know that the Chinese people, wherever they are, they teach the child their mother tongue first. The child only comes in contact with English when the child goes to school. On the contrary, the mother tongue, like I said before, it helps the child develop his cognitive ability. So what that means is that a child who starts with the mother tongue will do better in other areas, in the English language and in other areas of studies.
So now we're trying to look at where the problem is actually coming from. Sincerely, back in the days, during my own time, in fact, they flog us if you speak pidgin English. My dialect was not even in the look of things.
So it was English?
Yeah, it was English. In the house, if you speak pidgin, my elder brother will flog you. In fact, we had a monitor, they between us. If you speak, they'll write your name. When my elder brother comes, who is the person that spoke, they'll begin to flog you. So we literally learned English, and over time, we now transferred it to our kids. But now that this knowledge is coming in, so from your knowledge, right, where's the problem coming from? Is it from the government, the society, the family? You go to school, it's English. They tell you names of noisemaker, it's English. In fact, if you speak pidgin, you're in nobody reads or does anything in your local language. So
everybody is involved. Everybody is a corporate. The home, the parents, like you said, today most of us, I am equally a corporate. We use the English language in our homes. Our children are brought up in English language. The government too is not helping matters. In fact, I think recently there is this news about erasing the teaching of the other three major Nigerian languages, which at least has been there in the past. When we were much younger, our local languages in our local environments, we are taught, even in school. We were taught the Ikwere language. I can still remember we had the Ikwere language reader. So we were taught the Ikwere right from the primary schools. But today, it is no longer there. And rather than the government improving on what we had yesteryears, they are now making things worse by even removing it completely. Then the children also, because they have lost the interest. You know, all these things they watch, it starts from, you know, the truth about language is interest. When a child is interested, even when the parents are not helping the child can help himself. And I will give you one example. I use it even for my children. I tell them, this is somebody that, I have a cousin, I don't want to mention his name, but he's popular. He's popular. In fact, he's an actor. Growing up, they grew up, their parents were the middle class, so, you know, well-to-do. And so they kept them away from the entire extended family. So they were trained like inside inside the fence, if I may use that word. And so, and then they were taught with English language.
Okay.
But this young chap had the interest to learn the Ikwere language. So what he do is he would just sneak out and come to the family compound and then mingle with us. And that was how he learned. In fact, today when I see him, he's so knowledgeable in our culture, the language and all that. So it's interest. So our children have also lost the interest.
Okay, before we continue, we have this feature on mother tongue. Let's take a look then. When we come back, we continue. Language is more than words. It is identity. It is history. It is culture.
The new form of colonialism that, you know, has made it that people do not like what is native, what is local. And so language being part of it, even though it's an immaterial culture, and they feel that if you speak a native language, you are local.
Indigenous language is very, very important. We are losing touch, our children. Me, I have failed. Parents have failed. We realize, you know, that we are not doing what we are supposed to do. We speak English at home, they come to school, they speak English. Use your language at home from, you know, day one.
The dominance of foreign languages in schools, media, technology, and even homes has made many young people more fluent in global languages than in their native tongues. Urbanization, intertribal marriages, and the perception that speaking local language is outdated or inferior have also contributed to its decline.
I'm from Africa. From Africa. No, not really. Yes. Because I wasn't trained that way for you.
Yes, I can speak my language, but not that deep, but I can understand and speak some Kalabari.
I can't speak my language. I don't know, the fault is not coming from me, it's coming from my parents. I'm not proud of my language, I don't even like the language.
I am very proud, yes. Because it's a very unique language. Most people also want to even learn how to speak Yoruba, like most River State people, yeah, they really want to know how to speak Yoruba because Yoruba is more like an interesting language. Let me put it down.
Parents should make it a point of duty to let their children speak their languages. Apart from giving them the identity they require, it's also helpful for the children to know their mother tongue so that they can communicate effectively with their kinsmen.
There's a lot tied to language. Your language places you there. It places you on a higher pedestal, when compared to other languages. So, indigenous language should be a must study in every educational center, whether secondary, primary, university, so that we retain our culture.
To revive and preserve our mother tongue, intentional action is needed. Parents must consciously speak their local language at home. Schools should incorporate mother tongue education at foundational levels. Preserving our mother tongue is not a rejection of civilization. It is a balance. We can embrace global opportunities while protecting our identity. When we speak our language, we keep our heritage alive. And when we preserve our heritage, we secure our future. Our language is our power. Let us not allow it to fade. Listen to that feature. Just let's begin to look at the solution. You earlier said that the issue is holistic. Let's look at solution to this issue.
Okay. The solution, first, everybody has to be deliberate about it, has to be intentional about it. The parents, the children, the government, the society. The government should incorporate or encourage the educational sectors at all levels to incorporate mother tongue. The parents should also make it, be deliberate about it, teach their children, speak their mother tongue at home. In fact, if it is possible, if we can start a campaign of when a child is born, just like what the Chinese people do, let's not introduce that child to any other language than our mother tongue for the first 5 years until the child starts school. And then the children too, they should, like I gave an instance of a cousin who, even when the parents were not encouraging him, he on his own took interest, because it's all about interest. So no matter, even if the government does that, the parents are speaking it at home, if a child is not interested, because we see interest plays a major role. You see, I see in the community women that are married from other tribes. You see, those who have interest, they learn the language of their husbands. But those who do not have interest, even if they stay here, I have an uncle's wife who, until she died, she lived with us, was married to my uncle for over 40 years, but she never spoke the Ikwere language. She was still speaking her own dialect. What's the problem? Interest. So the children should be interested. And you know, this whole idea that and speaking their indigenous language makes them local is not true. Rather, it makes them versatile. It gives them pride. Your mother tongue helps you develop your cognitive competence and gives you the ability for critical thinking. So our children, our Gen Z generation, the earlier they understand that, the better.
Okay, just a way to wrap up. Just speak to people out there. Just a way to wrap up, straight up.
Okay, to our listeners and our viewers out there, I want to say that language is not just a communication tool. Language is a repository of our culture, our history, our identity. And so if you lose your language, you have lost your culture, you have lost your identity, you have erased your history. And one of the solutions to the moral decadence that we have today is the teaching of our mother tongue, because it's embedded with values, cultural values, moral values that will help shape our children, teach them the right way, give them moral values. So let's go back to our roots and teach our children our language.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
We'll be speaking with Her Majesty, Dr. Mrs. Juliet Eliku. Thank you very much. Hope we see you more. Despite your busy schedule.
Any day, anytime. I am passionate about language, particularly our indigenous language, reviving it.
Reviving. Thank you. Okay, everyone, we're still on It's Garden City Rendezvous. We have this feature. Francis?
Okay, like I said earlier, in the course of the week, we had this very interesting training, courtesy of our own very zonal director in the person of Mr. Paul Ate, who took us through let's say kept us abreast with happenings and making us move up to some kind of level that could uphold modern standards, so to say. So let's roll this feature.
Continuous drive to strengthen professionalism and enhance productivity, the Programs Department of the Nigerian Television Authority Port Harcourt Network Center organized a capacity building training workshop for its staff. The training session focused on television production overview was designed to deepen knowledge, shaping skills, and improve overall output in television content delivery. Delivering the welcome address, the head of department, Eberechi Eke Okoro, set the tone for the workshop by emphasizing the importance of continuous learning in a dynamic media environment. The resource person, who also doubles as the zonal director of NTA Port Harcourt Network Center, Mr. Paul Ate, took participants through critical aspects of television production. His presentation covered the structure and workflow of production processes, highlighting the importance of synergy across departments. The training also addressed professional approaches to handling intense interviews, maintaining composure under pressure, and ensuring balanced questioning. Participants were guided on information control during crisis situations, with emphasis on accuracy, responsibility, and ethical broadcasting. The interactive nature of the session provided participants the opportunity to ask questions, seek clarification, and share practical experiences. The workshop proved both revealing and insightful, equipping staff with refreshed perspectives and strengthening capacity for improved service delivery. The training reaffirmed the department's commitment to excellence, professionalism, and continuous growth in the broadcast industry. Interesting training, I think.
I told you.
Yes.
You see that I came really fortified because when we actually entered into that training together.
Yeah, we did. And, we had a lot of things we were doing that in production. By the time we came, we were like, wow. In fact, you know how you have a zonal director, like you've not seen him all, and he just dished out his best, giving on production, presentation. I think the one that particularly got me was when you are confronted with an interview, crisis management, how to manage your questioning and all that. That stood out for me. And the ability of everybody to have the opportunity to ask questions and all that. And
also in emergency situations, you may find yourself in a place where there may not be a camera at that point. Then you make do of what is available. These days, everybody, or almost everyone has a phone. Then you can equally use this camera on your phone to capture what you want to capture, and then later on you can just play around with it. That's why we have the editors and all that. So you don't really need to wait for a professional camera in a situation where we have an emergency, such as maybe an accident or maybe a disaster, environmental disaster.
In fact, the training was really massive, really massive. And guess what? NTA here, we always have this training and retraining to help us build capacity. Anyway, we're still on is Garden City Rendezvous. We have this feature on skill, white collar job and skill. We'll take a look at that because up next we'll be talking about certificate versus skill. What is it all about? We'll get to find out. Let's roll it.
I think maybe we should still talk more on these production processes.
Yeah.
Like we all agree that in broadcasting, or let's say TV programming, we have three basic production stages. That's the pre-production, production, and post-production. And the one that sparks me most is the pre-production, because you bring about ideas first before you come about with what you want to produce. Like you have,
we'll cut it short
here. Okay.
Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, the program continues. Well, why they are still doing okay.
In the heart of Ogoni, Rivers State, a new generation of leaders is emerging. The Federal University of Environment and Technology recently celebrated its maiden Founders Day and matriculation ceremony, marking a significant milestone in the institution's history. The ceremony, which marked the formal admission of pioneer students into the university, was attended by top government officials, academics, traditional rulers, and other relevant stakeholders.
Great pleasure to be alive to witness this. We have been struggling and fighting for environmental restoration, and now we are not only happy to operate on. We have a university that is quickly introducing the ground, so we feel fulfilled.
Most importantly, very grateful to the man who, on his own, decided to take up this bill and have become law today. And that is the most distinguished senator,
We generally came today to support this program because the bodies are low faculty of education and education
is our trademark in Ogoni land.
Today is another great day for us. And for most of us, it's a day that one of the dreams of the founding fathers will
congratulate all students who have made it as pioneer students of the school. Secondly, to congratulate the management for putting up a very fantastic program. And then finally, to thank Mr. President for seeing through to this vision.
Mostly, the university has come to stay. And we will give them all the necessary support. Like I mentioned in the work when I was addressing the also launching lady competition, fundraising.
But we thank God everything. We are finally taking our votes today, and we thank God for everything, because if not for God, our parents and the school, this day would have not been a success.
The university's vision is to become a center of excellence in research, innovation, and sustainable development. The Federal University of Environment and Technology, Ogoni, is shaping the future of Nigeria and beyond.
Okay, welcome back. We're still on Garden City Rendezvous. Now, we earlier told you that we're going to be talking about the biting issue. Yes, I call it biting because we're having a group of persons that are saying that they prefer skills to certificates.
You see that when I say the world is evolving and a lot is evolving with it, you know, back in the days, so to say, I'm not a guest here.
Okay, don't worry. Let's introduce the guest so that you will join us in this discussion. Join us and welcome Dr. Emmanuel Kweke. Good to have you, sir. I think he has already started biting into the discussion. We're talking about certificate and skill. Yeah. Back in the days, they tell you, you go to school, you get a certificate, you get your job, your white collar job, your job is waiting
for you.
For you, like the job is waiting for you. And sincerely, that's how it was working. You come out, there's either one company rushing you or the other. But now, over time, like he said, times have evolved. You come out, there's no job. People are now delving into school. But now, what is trending now is the fact that for the skill, there are a group of people that are agitating that instead of going to university to get that certificate, because when you finish, you will still go to the company to do what is called IT, industrial training, and then you still train. Why not go to the university? That training you would have got, instead of doing theory, you do more of practical. By the time you have done 3, 4, 5 years, you are grounded. Doc, I leave you to continue from there.
Thank you very much. You know, all of these advocacies of skill and school is a fallout of frustration.
Wow.
You know, as a country that has not done well for herself. So when people begin to compare school and skill, it's paradoxical, because skill, education is the same thing. School, skill is the same thing. You are here showing a skill and you are paid for it. I'm not sure you went to any roadside place, any kind of place. It's skill. So what we are having is a failure of the system. You know, before now, we used to have, even in primary schools, where teachers had accommodation in the premises. Secondary school, the same. We used to have what we call handcraft. It used to be a subject.
Yeah.
We used to have home economics from primary school, secondary school, where when you have, I think we used to love our home economics teacher, because she would always come with bonds. After which you have to, that's one of the most preferred subjects, after which you have to have something to chew. You know, so, but now what we see is teachers who are not, you see, people that are even recruited to teach economics, probably studied government. Nobody pays attention to all these details. Now, even the training and retraining of the teachers, before you even talk about skills, who are those passing the skills, right? How many teachers have been trained and retrained in a complete contemporary measure to what they are doing? I don't know which skill they are even talking about that is not learning in school. Is it medicine? Like medicine, right? It's not in school, building technology. Okay. Because you can't even go into theory, a practical, without the basics, without the theory. Are you talking about fashion or design, tailoring? It's the degree program in university or polytechnic. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you talking about catering? We have catering and hospitality management.
Okay,
right? How trained are the trainers?
Okay, how trained are the
That's what
trainers?
we're talking about. I'm about to ask her,
Yeah.
because in most of these institutions we have, the practical aspect is really questionable.
Yeah.
But
Because
when you
they are not
and then
trained,
you
you
are
recruit people that are
concentrating
not
on a particular
competent.
skill.
You recruit people that are not competent. It would be surprising for me to see my students say that the courses that they are going for, there's hands-on, there's theory, there's hands-on, there's practical approach. Do you understand what I mean? So if you have people that cannot deliver on the job,
then
there is a problem. So how ready are our teachers? One, the people employing them, are they training them? Then the system, where when you go to school, you don't come to class. You go to pay bribe to the lecturer, and then probably based on the amount you paid, it's a criminal conduct, you know. You are now scored higher than those who are even becoming.
Yeah.
So the other ones are demoralized. You see that aspect. Then what are you passing on as a teacher yourself? What is the ingredient? What is the component of what you're passing on?
Let me continue. We have this feature on nation building. We'll take it. The program will continue after that. Don't go nowhere.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and one.
Nation building, nation building. A call to nation building.
We will take us down and build our land.
The destiny of a nation is in the hands of Christians. The quality of Christianity in a nation is determined by the extent Christians are involved in the Great Commission, preaching the gospel. God holds Christians responsible for the trend of events in the nation, not the armed forces and the police, not the government officials and the civil servants, not the presidency and politicians as we popularly think and believe. Now, this implies that unless the membership takes the responsibility of the Great Commission, the quality of Christianity remains low. A situation where you have big churches littered all around and evil is looming everywhere. Witchcraft and witch hunting, cultism and stealing at all levels, hooliganism and gambling, soccer pool and naira bets, GSM win-win promos, etc. Now, Christianity begins and ends within the four walls of the church. Christians are confused on how to express their faith in the streets where it matters most. This nation is blessed with highly experienced pastorate, but presently, the pastorate is burdened by membership who has not taken responsibility, overspending in adverts that eat deep into their limited resources. Awakening the membership of their responsibility will definitely reduce the overall running cost for the pastorate, and at the same time make room for the membership to grow, mature, and take up the responsibility of nation building. Now, God said Nigeria has become unstoppable. It has become a thing of pride to identify with and be fully mobilized for the task of nation building. Gone are the days when you hear people say that no one believes in Nigeria. Nigerians are now proud of Nigeria. Evil submerges before an army of nationalists, and we have a better Nigeria. Courtesy, Nayoth Rema Outreach Nigeria. Undertaking, Engineer Israel Chukwubudike Chukwujeku, CEO, Nayoth Gravels Limited.
Okay, we continue with our discussion. Now, if you go to school, you finish. When you are done with your school, you come out, they make you to go through the industrial training. But I think we have to be real to ourselves, Doc. The fact that most of the time, they take you through a lot of theory more than even the practical aspect of your course. that is why I think we're having students that are not grounded, that an engineer will not have the ability to manage his tools. Even in school, he will go through a lot of theory, and when he's done, the things he's done, because he's not taking through practical, he cannot really activate everything he has been taught when it's in the company.
That's what I'm telling you now, that our school system is lazy.
It's lazy?
Yeah, Nigerian school system doesn't have a philosophy. We just say egalitarian society, Nigerian philosophy of education. We know that, all of that. What the egalitarian society where everybody will be educated, what does that mean? If you look at American education, the target point is science and technology. And if you go to a university, the project must be tied to a science or tech item. Are you get what I'm saying? Now, here, if you go to our universities, you see laboratories, you see workshops, big machines. Now, there's what to call gun and town marriage, the industry and this. For the students are asked to go for IT, it's not for joke. It is also to be monitored. Do you understand? It's also to be monitored, marrying what you have learned in the classroom to that other outside. Then again, you also look at our government, whether local government, state, federal, they are also not doing well. Now, most of the facilities, infrastructures we are using today were done by like 50, 60, 40, 20 years ago. Which innovation, like you see the refineries, were built by some human beings, sometimes, just to fix it too, we are speaking grammar on a daily basis. I don't know if I can answer. So which entrepreneurial employment innovations are these people doing? The present day,
so it's a game of time. Let's just see, Prof, quickly, how can we balance the two, skills development and these certifications?
Now, even these skills that people are talking about, the ones probably somebody goes outside to get, for you to get a mechanic today, it's a very serious matter. A good mechanic to fix your car is a serious problem. Because the society item is pervading, it's affecting everybody. People are in a hurry to make money.
So don't you think that it's like what people are saying? I have a group that are saying that instead of going to school, it's like a lawyer, it's like an accountant. Mm-hmm. You go to school, you don't even know some of the terminologies in accountancy, right? Mm-hmm. And then that from year one, you should be able to be grounded, like theoretically speaking.
Tech too is really suffering it. You go to study computer science,
a child cannot even open a laptop. So we're saying that what is your thought on it? That from that year one, when you get into school, you begin to open your laptop. Everything you're supposed to be doing in a company, you begin to do that. Look at law. After 4 years, 5 years, you still go to bar. But they take them through a lot of theories, and then you go to bar to get 1 year training and all that. That from your year one, you start training as if you are in court. If you are in computer, you start using that computer from year one. What's your thought of that?
No, there are schools that are doing it. Nigerian schools, here we talk about private and public, or any school that has been approved by government, whether private or this is government school. I know somebody that before year 5, a company abroad already started calling him because he started developing an app equivalent in Nigeria, a Rivers boy, equivalent to Facebook. He is practicing it in US. So there are places like that, serious-minded educational institutions. Okay. That the institutions that are not serious are more in number than very few institutions. Okay. So that is our problem. So if you now say that these institutions, you are asking students, you are putting a student through theory, you can't go to practical, you don't know. And even in the assessment, the annual assessment of the teaching staff is still not sincere, it's incomplete. Where are your needs? Your training needs. Even when the staff mentions the training needs, do they carry it out? I don't say it's a very lazy scenario. So people are in a hurry to say we have graduated 3,000 what? We graduated 4,000 this. To go and do what? Because the like people have said, it's a tech world now. The contemporariness is changing on a speedy note. So you have to prepare these people on these grounds. Even the people that are teaching them, the implementers of the curriculum, there has to be steady training and retraining. But they undermine all these things. If you now say send a teacher to a primary school teacher to Japan, for instance, who will listen to you like that in Nigeria? They will think, what are you talking about? But countries that are doing well, this is what they are doing. If you go to India,
we're wrapping up, sir.
Yeah, India. If you compare India, I have a talk like this to present to Nigerian youth, Niger Delta youth this week and next week, right? What we are saying is that if you compare with Asian country, and you look at what they did, all of these things, they start doing it from year one. They married practical and theory from year one. Their teachers are trained and retrained. Researchers are paid for and monitored.
Thank you.
Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, but here we are not serious. Yeah,
we are not there yet.
Okay, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have you to talk about critical issues like this.
Yeah.
Thank you. And to you out there, we want to appreciate you for being there. Yeah, joining us every Saturday morning where we talk about trending issues that cut across different sectors in our society. We want to appreciate you. This is where we call it a wrap on the program. Join us same time next week, yeah?
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, next week for another interesting time on Garden City Rendezvous. My name
is Final Kennedy, and I remain Francis. Bye.